Good morning, everybody. Well, I'm going to tell you that you will not believe what I just bought. And remember, this is not me giving a paid endorsement. No, 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 no. This is me telling how I'm a happy consumer. Stay tuned.
Life is a funny old broad. She keeps you guessing.
Well, let me just tell you something, y'all. In case you don't know me, my name is Angela, middle initial K, last name Durden, and this is the constrained view. Now, the constrained view, of course, is because I deal in real facts. If I have an opinion, I'll let you know that it's just an opinion. But I like to say that I want to back it up with facts. Well, let me just tell you something. Technology, I have never been an early adopter. I have been someone who's been forced to adopt. Like my first computer. It was a Packard Bell PC that I bought from Pace Membership Warehouse because I saw an opportunity and I had to have a computer to be able to do it. And that was in 1992. 1992. Put the whole thing on a credit card. My now dead ex-husband, who was alive at the time, said, "What did you just do?" I had never spent more than $200 at any one time in our married life. And I said, well, I got an opportunity to make a lot of money, but I need the right tool. And so it was a computer. I'll spare you that story. Moving forward, as I needed to do things with this computer, I found I would buy programs to do it, but I always very fast outgrew what those programs were capable of doing. And so anyway, I finally found some things that work really well with updates that came regular basis that continue to improve. That would be Corel Draw, the Corel suite of things, Corel Photo Paint and all that. Wonderful, wonderful program, but that's not what this is about. This is about my television. Now, after I divorced my husband, I didn't even want a television around. I didn't have a television for 5 years after the divorce. And then I realized that I needed to put a television up because I had bought a little DVD player just to watch some DVDs that I had. And I was tired of watching it on a little screen about like that. My son had said, well, get a TV, get a DVD player, connect them up, and just use that. Okay, that's a good idea. So we put it up on the wall, one of those articulating arms that you can do various things. And I was happy with my DVDs until one day I turned the TV on and realized that there was more stuff on the TV. There were actual channels, and there was some channels that, I could get over the air. I wasn't going to pay for cable. Wasn't going to do it. So I bought myself this Vizio television, and it was called a SmartTV. I did not understand what smart meant, but my son said, "Trust me, Mom, you'll love it." Of course, he didn't realize I didn't have my Wi-Fi on in my house. I just had a Ethernet. He said, well, you're going to have to get Wi-Fi because I said, well, you can forget it. Remember, I have to be forced. So I had an antenna that I plugged into the TV, and I was able to get about 60-something channels that broadcast. I was happy with that until I wasn't. Until I got on my computer, I'm doing more research. Now, this has just been, let's see, it's been 11 years since I got my television up. And then I've been doing a massive amount of research in the last 6 years as I've ramped up my online presence, doing podcasts, writing articles, and that sort of thing. Next thing you know, I discovered this thing called YouTube. Now, I knew YouTube existed because I had put some personal little things up on there. I had put some song videos and that I had written songs. So I knew enough about it, but I didn't really realize the power of what my TV could do. And I fast outgrew what it was doing. Also, I'm going to make a side point here about Vizio is still a great TV. It is my understanding that, is it Walmart? I think Walmart has bought the Vizio uh, company, or I'm hearing that they're going to, and they're going to change the Vizio brand into something Walmart branded. I don't know what they're going to call it. Um, but the Vizio TV is still great. I mean, it has great picture. It's awesome. What isn't so good is the remote control that came with it. Now, the remote control, the original remote control, was awesome. It lasted me for 6 years, and then it just stopped working. The connections inside were worn out, the little points, where they touch. So I went online to Amazon.com, and I found the Vizio, the exact remote, because it worked perfectly fine, and I liked the interface. I already had it, I could do it in the dark because I knew where everything was. Ordered that. 6 months later, that thing was worn slam out. Ordered another one. That one lasted maybe 6 to 8 months, something like that. Ordered another one. That one didn't last very long either. Ordered another one. Then I had to order another one. And then I had to order another one. And then I finally ordered 3 the last time I ordered, thinking that I would still be using this TV in the same way, which is to watch my YouTube. Isn't that funny how you say watch my YouTube? But to watch YouTube, because there's a lot of really good stuff on YouTube. Plus, I wanted to flesh out my channel with my podcast and this sort of thing. So, I've been really working that angle a lot. And not that I watch myself on YouTube. I don't. I'm here. I know what I said. Y'all can watch it. Then, a week ago, up popped a little notice on my Vizio when I turned it on. Oh, big notice. As of, I think it's September 25th or October 25th, something like that, this television will no longer get the YouTube and the Yahoos and all that, because Yahoo, the company Yahoo, which I did not know, had been servicing the Vizio interface. They were going to stop servicing it, and it was just going to go away. So that meant I had a smart TV that I couldn't get anything on except for the broadcast antenna TV. And that wasn't where I was spending most of my time. I thought, oh my God. And I thought this was just going to last me and last me and last me. But technology changes, y'all. Technology changes. And since I'm not an early adopter of technology, I really wasn't up on all the things that my smart TV could do. Well, my smart TV was now going to be a dumb TV. How could I get this? Am I going to have to go out and buy a new TV? My God, that means I'd have to call my son. He'd have to come help me get it, bring it home, because it'd be too heavy for me to pick up. It just would be too heavy. We'd have to take down the other one. I'd have to hold things a little bit for him while he mostly took the brunt and he's tightening stuff up and getting it up in there. I'd have to learn a whole new remote control. I'd have to do all this stuff. And I said, there's got to be a better way. And then I would still have to put in all my passwords for YouTube and Prime. And that's all I had. And my Wi-Fi. And that's all I had passwords for my interfaces. There's got to be a better way. So I went over to my editor's house and I was complaining. I mean, I was complaining. Blah, blah, blah. Told him this whole story that I just told you. And he said, well, you might need to get a Fire Stick. And I said, you're not going to believe this. I said, what's a Fire Stick? Now, I know quite a few of you are probably going, Angela, Fire Stick from Amazon. And here I am, a Prime member, watching my Prime video. And I had never heard of a Fire Stick. Geez, Tom, what's a Fire Stick? So he says, oh, you don't know. And he proceeds to show me. I said, oh, well, I thought all that just came with your DirecTV box. He said, no, 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 no. So later that day, y'all know I'd gotten a new computer, forced to finally get a new computer. And then, of course, when it rains, it snows. Wait a minute. When it rains, it pours. My UPC, my uninterruptible power source, you know, the battery that you plug your computer and your monitor into so that if the electricity goes off, you can shut them down good, and they have a surge protector. It decides to quit, and it was 4.5 years old and just started beeping, and that was it. So I go to buy one, and while I'm at Staples, I said, do y'all happen to sell something called a Fire Stick? I'm not an early adopter, y'all. She said, why, yes, I think we have a couple left. And because I had not found them on the shelf anywhere. She goes back in the back, and then some lock case back there pulls out two and brings them in. Well, I got one. One was HD and one was the 4K. So I got the 4K one. I figured it'd work no matter what. And I was right. And here is where it gets awesome. This Fire Stick, okay. Everybody has been demonizing Amazon. And by everybody, I mean a lot of people. Demonizing Amazon. You know, authors demonize it. Bookstores demonize it. People who don't like Jeff Bezos, politics, demonize it. And I've heard this more than I'm happy to admit that I've heard. That we need to not purchase anything from Amazon at all to prove to them that they need to change their ways. Well, let me tell you something. Amazon as a company, I've been with Amazon since before you could go online and hardly order anything. And I sold a lot of books that I had printed and they stored, and they were fulfilling orders. Then technology changed. I didn't know it. I couldn't figure out anything, but suddenly I wasn't fitting in with that particular methodology that they had to sell. Fine. They had some growing pains. They got over those and they've moved forward. And now for not book publishing, but releasing books for sale to the general public is straight from the author into this store, this retail store. It's a thing of beauty. It's a thing of beauty. And so I've been using Amazon. I pay every year to get the free shipping thing. You know, I order a lot of things from Amazon. Not that I don't try to shop locally. I do. But you know what? There's a lot of stores cutting back on stuff they don't carry anymore because they're not selling enough. Well, they are forcing me to go somewhere that has it, and Amazon has it. So Amazon, then did this thing called Prime Video. And I said, well, gosh, I'm already doing stuff with Amazon, and it's getting better and better every day. Every day it's getting better. I said, well, let me try that. And I've liked it. There was some issue with some of the glitches in how it was playing, and I contacted Amazon about it, and they said, we just don't understand that because it's working just fine. I mean, we're showing that you have all the bandwidth and all this sort of thing. And then I realized, and I'll tell you why. When I realized it when I got my Fire Stick. You see, my Fire Stick is light years ahead of how my television can handle incoming signals from the internet. And by my television, what I mean is the interface for that. And that was what Yahoo was managing, which I did not know. Yahoo's been slowly devolving for several years now, and people with Yahoo managing their email addresses and that sort of thing it's a one of them cluster things that I'm not going to say the word for. Well, now that I realized that Yahoo was dealing with it, was having to go through Yahoo somehow to get to my television. Now I know why Amazon Prime wasn't working so well. And my YouTube wasn't working that good either. I thought that was as good as it got. And why did I think that? Because I am not an early adopter of technology, and I was how many years behind was I on this? I get my Fire Stick. This thing is a marvel. So my editor Tom told me, he says he's got a friend who was involved with this somehow or another, and that friend had told him, said, look, when you put the Fire Stick onto your television, your television will go from being a smart TV to a Genius. I didn't understand that till I plugged it all in, got it all going, and I went, holy cow. This interface, I can have everything that I do, watching television, watching movies, and let's say I was subscribed to a sport channel, and my editor is subscribed to that. He can watch all this stuff. If it doesn't come on his DirecTV account, he can watch it on this Fire Stick thing. He can just sign in and boom, he's done. Well, I don't watch sports, but I do watch YouTube, and it is a joy to watch YouTube now. It is a joy to go through because it actually works in real time. There's no lag. There's no glitchiness. Boom, it watches it. Oh gosh. And there were some other things I tried out too, just to make sure it all works. My TV is now a Genius. And it's because somebody somewhere said, we got to figure this out. It's because somebody somewhere said technology, the basis for technology, the infrastructure can handle something else. And what kind of problems can we solve? So for that, while I might not like Jeff Bezos in the sense of maybe some of his politics, personally, for all he's so smart, he got ripped off when he bought the Washington Post. They saw a sucker coming, and he just needed to go in and fire everybody and then get his own team. He wouldn't put up with this kind of crap that the Washington Post is doing inside the Amazon employee. No. They're figuring out shipping. How many Amazon trucks are everywhere? And if the Amazon truck isn't there with all the Prime stuff on the side, the little smiley face with the arrow, if that wasn't there driving around your neighborhoods, You've got individuals hitting these odd spots where the trucks either can't go or there's not enough traffic and they just deliver something occasionally. And I bet you anything, and you're happy to correct me if I'm wrong, but I bet you anything that with the Amazon shipping network that they have built, oh, it works great. Uh, that there are people starting out in their own vehicles learning how to do things, and then when they see that they're going to stick around a while and they've done some stuff, they may give them their own truck, move them to a different route. And then if that works out really good, who knows, maybe they can move up to a bigger truck, or maybe they can like a box truck, or maybe they can move them up into some of the semis, trucks with trailers on them, to make regional deliveries or do any long haul stuff that might need to be done. So I'm happy with Amazon. And this Fire Stick, I've had it, let me think, 3 days. It's an amazing thing. I'm still not an early adopter of technology. Just because I got a lot to do, and that's not what I want to do, is try to keep up with technology. I want technology to keep up with me. And as far as in some of the things that I've done, for instance, the print brokering, publishing, design, pretty much I'm there. I keep up with that because it can make me money. Watching TV cannot make me money. If only it could, but it can't. So I'm behind on all that technology, but this Fire Stick has made my smart TV a genius. A genius. Now, if you don't have it, I'm going to suggest you go get it. As long as you've got internet at your house. If you don't, then I don't think it's going to help. Well, I'm going to say goodbye. This has been fun. It was just a quick thing, but you see how it's all tied together? You see that? It's all tied together. Now, I'm not a Luddite, as y'all well know. But boy, this advance in technology has just been amazing. And it's easy. And it's simple. It's clear. It's intuitive. I didn't have to read a manual. I did not have to read a manual to make this thing work. It's awesome. Well, everybody, we'll see you later. And you know what they say about funny old broads, of which I am one.